My action research is based on exergaming. Exergaming is a combination of video games and exercise. My problem statement asks whether or not exergaming in my high school physical education program will increase student participation. Schools around the country are looking for ways to get kids more involved in participating in physical activity in their physical education programs. High school students in physical education programs and high schools around the country continue to lack in participation in class physical activities. With national obesity rates on the rise, educators and experts continue to search for effective obesity interventions at the school level. Statistical research shows an increase in both sedentary behaviors and obesity in American adolescents. I decided to research ways that I could improve the participation rates in my physical education classes. Because exergaming is an emerging trend, I thought I would give it a try in my high school. Let's begin with an overview of exergaming research. As many of us know, getting kids to participate in physical activity has become increasingly difficult. There are a variety of reasons why, but the bottom line is that we have to get kids active. Educators are constantly looking for ways to increase student participation in physical education classes. The purpose of the Action Research Project was to test to see if an exergaming lab in the high school would increase student participation in physical activities. I wanted kids to participate more, because each year more and more students are falling outside the high parameter for suggested weight. Studies show that U.S. children are spending around 75% of each day being inactive. In fact, one research presentation stated that only 1 out of 4 children get at least 30 minutes of physical activity each day, and 75% get less than 20 minutes each week. It was concluded that as a child reaches their teen years, they continue to increase their time participating in sedentary activities and spend less time doing physical activities. This increase in sedentary behaviors is a result of new technologies like video games that have become a major part of our society. Most researchers have focused on 2 main objectives for research with exergaming. The first goal is to better understand the impact of exergames on obesity prevention, and secondly, to figure out the best ways to integrate exergames appropriately within nutrition education and obesity prevention programs. Many students were bored with traditional games like football and soccer. I had to find ways to make participating in physical activities in my class more fun. I needed to find a way to individualize the activities to stimulate each student into participating. Through a class survey, I was able to identify what traditional games or sports students were playing and also the extent of their familiarity with exergaming. Exergaming seemed a logical thing to try to hopefully improve student participation in physical education. Kids spend hours playing video games, so allowing them to play games that involve physical activity might just be the ticket to participation success. Currently, thousands of schools around the country are using exergaming programs in order to improve student participation in physical exercise. Hundreds of different exergames are available on today's market. A survey of my students showed that the majority of students are familiar with many of the games shown here. Some of the most popular games included Dance Dance Revolution and the Nintendo Wii Fit. Cycle 1 took a while to complete due to a lack of funding that put me behind by 6 months. This allowed me a lot of time to just think through the process and how I could get this project most effectively accomplished by troubleshooting errors before they occurred. Once the lab was finally established, we used the J-Mat for jogging and agility games, boxing with the Zavix system, which used hand-eye coordination, snowboarding with the Zavix for balance control, and tennis with the Wii. During Cycle 1, I had students complete an exergaming circuit by combining traditional activities like step-ups, crunches, and push-ups while waiting there for their turn to play exergames. Cycle 2 never did occur due to our administration using the room for hospitality for regional tournaments. The lab had to be packed up and stored for 3 months. I did, however, use the results from Cycle 1 to develop a rubric and a notebook plan for students to track their progress in the lab. I will be using the notebook once the lab is restored after the holiday break. The notebook gives students an opportunity to use the Exergaming lab but personalize their choices in gaming. I came to 3 conclusions through this action research project. Research stated that while exergames are a source of physical activity, these exergames are not an equal substitute for traditional games and fitness activities. Exergames will not benefit to the same extent as if they were participating in traditional fitness activities. Exergames can potentially give students a false sense of accomplishment. A student who becomes a Wii tennis champion will most likely will not be able to play a traditional tennis game at the same level. The skills from the exergames do not transfer to the actual physical activity. Lastly, what exergames will hopefully do is get kids involved in physical activity. While exergames may not be a direct substitute to traditional activities, it is better than nothing. We have to get our students moving. Exergames are a good way to get started into a physical activities program or as a complement to a traditional activity program. Research indicates that exergaming will increase student participation in physical activities. Getting students involved was the main goal of my physical education program. We have accomplished this and will continue to move forward.